Instructions for counting assistants. Introduction. Please study these instructions carefully so you are fully aware of your duties. Ensure you read the secrecy of proceedings. You should report to the count centre no later than 9:15 p.m. Please arrive on time. This is necessary to ensure the efficiency of the count. There is limited parking space at your count venue. A parking pass is included with your instruction pack. There may be a queue at the entrance, so please ensure your parking pass is clearly displayed on your dashboard when you arrive at the count venue and leave it displayed on your dashboard at all times. You will be told where to park by the centre staff controlling access. If you do not have your parking pass visible on arrival, you may be turned away because this will cause delay in the traffic flow. On arrival at the count venue, please report to the check-in desk. You will be advised to report to your counting tables. The sports centre is required to lay protective flooring. Please ensure that suitable footwear is worn. No high heels, as this may damage the floor. You may be refused entry if you're wearing unsuitable footwear. Media may be present at this election, and by attending the count venue, you are deemed to have given your consent to be filmed or photographed. Please contact the elections office if there are any issues with this. Verification and count. For the local elections, the verification and count will be broken down into 24 ward-based mini-counts. This process will be broken down into 3 stages. Stage 1. Verification of all the postal ballot papers from the opening sessions. Stage 2. Verification of all polling station ballot boxes. Stage 3. Sorting and counting of the ballot papers into candidates. 10 p.m. Verification begins. Stage 1. Verification of postal ballot papers. 10 p.m. prompt, your chief counter will commence the verification of the postal ballot papers. The contents of the postal ballot box will be emptied onto the table and observers shown that the box is empty. The postal ballot papers will already be bundled into 25s and will need to be rechecked. You will only need to check the postal ballot papers once. Your chief counter will remove the checked bundles from your table and reconcile the figures against the postal ballot paper account. If the ballot papers balance, the postal vote papers will be added to the mixing box. Candidates, agents and their nominated scrutineers may observe the proceedings as they are legally allowed to check. We are doing everything in a clear and visible way. Observers cannot touch the ballot papers and they cannot give you instructions. They should not distract you while the verification and count stages are underway. Please refer any questions or issues to the chief counters. Stage 2. Verification of polling station ballot boxes. Polling station ballot boxes will be delivered to the chief counter's table from ballot box reception. Your chief counter will empty the ballot papers onto your table, one at a time. The box will be shown to any observers that it is empty. Ballot papers must be handled face up at all times and must remain on the table. Do not move ballot papers from the table, do not place them on the floor, and do not work on your lap. Ballot papers should be counted into bundles of 25. When you have 25, paperclip the bundle on the right hand side. A second counter must check the bundle by recounting the number of papers in the bundle. Once recounted and you are satisfied that there are 25 ballot papers, the paperclip should be moved to the top left corner of the bundle to show it has been checked. Any part bundles of papers, i.e. less than 25, need a slip attached noting how many of the papers are in the part bundle. Your chief counter will start to remove the bundles of 25 from the counting tables. They will be placed in the supervisor tray and the chief counter will count the ballot papers to arrive at a figure for each box. Your chief counter will take the verification slip to the zone's central verification table. If the figures agree, the ballot papers can now be placed in the mixing box for your table. If the figures don't agree, you may be asked to recount the ballot papers again until you reach the same figures twice. The steps in stages 2 to 8 will be repeated for all of the polling station boxes. Once all the boxes have been verified and signed off, you will be instructed to start sorting and counting the votes. Stage 3. Sorting and counting the votes into candidates. The chief counter will start to empty the ballot papers from the mixing box onto your tables. You should sort the ballot papers into piles, one pile for each candidate. The utmost care should be exercised to keep each candidate's vote separate. Ballot papers should then be counted into bundles of 25, paper clipped and checked in the same way as you did at the verification stage. The counter checking the bundle should flick through the bundle to make sure all ballot papers in the bundle are for the same candidate. Checked bundles of 25s will be collected by the chief counter on a regular basis and transferred to their table in a tray for each candidate. The process is repeated until all ballot papers have been counted for each candidate. Your chief counter will reconcile all the counted votes plus the rejected votes for their area against the total verification figure for the ward. If the figures agree, the chief counter will take the paperwork to the central verification team to sign. If the figures don't agree, the chief counter will recount the bundles and check the arithmetic on the paperwork. The chief counter will escalate to the zone supervisor if the figures cannot be reconciled. At the point that a ward has reached a provisional declaration of result, this is shared with the candidates and agents for the ward. It is at this point that a recount may be requested or ordered, and you will be instructed by the returning officer. If agreed, the returning officer will declare the result. After the declaration, please assist your chief counter with tidying up the counting area. This includes folding the tablecloth. Do not leave unless instructed to do so. Things to note: refreshments. You will be provided with a bottle of water and chocolate bar or healthier alternative. Please do not leave bottles open on the table to avoid spillages. Hot drinks are not allowed at the counting tables. If you bring your own drinks or purchase drinks from the vending machines at the venue, any drinks other than water, and especially coloured drinks, must not be placed on the table at any time that ballot papers are being handled. Mobile phones are not to be used in the count hall. Mobiles and other similar devices should be turned off or on silent or vibrate. The returning officer, deputy officer, and senior election staff may occasionally use a mobile phone or other mobile devices. Things to note: photography. No photography is allowed in the count hall other than by authorised members of the media or the returning officer staff. The returning officer has the discretion to allow photography at the announcements of the results. If you have any questions or queries, please contact your local elections services team.